Hello, I'm your host Francois, and welcome to the first episode of my human experience. This show is about inviting people and just simply letting them talk and have them walk us what it's like for them right now. And in today's episode of at underscore Brooks Place, who's going to share us her story about being disabled in Canada. I thought this would be very important for everybody to hear. I think we could all use a refresher as to what are our programs for disability and who has access to it and how does it work, and if something really serious happens, like, are we good, or like, what's going on over there? So this is essentially the line of questioning that will be um, going down here. So thank you for being here, and now let's listen to at underscore Brooks Place. I would also like to thank NoMoreYesMan.com for sponsoring this episode. Hey Brooks, thanks for talking with me today. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. The government that sends millions of dollars to Ukraine, you're here to let us know what it's like to live as a disabled person in this country right now. You know, like, if any of us would just end up handicapped tomorrow because accidents happen, what awaits us? Should I expect having enough to live anywhere with the current climate? Like, do you have enough?
No, we do not. We get $565 for rent. Those are like 1991, 94 rents, maybe, for a bachelor. The rest of it comes out of our basic needs. So what our basic needs is, it's not meeting our basic needs because more than half of it is going to rent. This is why you see a lot of mutual aid posts where we're asking for money just to get by. Not me personally. I'm in a situation where I am caregiver to my mother, which is why I'm speaking a little bit softer because she's in bed right now. My mother is 80 with dementia. We think her third brain tumor is back. She has skin cancer. Her bladder is paralyzed. Her right kidney is paralyzed. Her right leg is paralyzed. That came from a botched back surgery. In 1972, I was 3 years old at that time. So I'm taking care of her. We moved up to Elliott Lake, which I fucking hate because the rents here are cheaper. We're from St. Catharines, which has currently got Toronto rents. So I'm in a position where I can help some of my fellow PWDs if needed. Carla Qualtero, when she was in charge of disability and exclusivity, she said that she was going to make sure that we absolutely were going to be lifted out of poverty. And the thing that she was fighting for mostly was no clawbacks by the provincial governments, because if you get CPP disability, which I do, and it is very hard to get, they claw it back. You don't get the 1565 that ODSP says you can have and your CPP. They cut your CPP back, so the max you get is 1565. When Kamal came as the Minister of Disability and Inclusivity, we thought she was going to do a great job. We thought that she was going to have our backs. Same with Singh. Singh was the champion of the disabled. He was going to do all this for us. He needed to make sure that we were going to be out of poverty, blah, 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 all this stuff, because, we didn't ask to be disabled. Anyone who fights to get on disability because they're fucking purely lazy, which a lot of people think. This is not a life. We are not living at all. We are purely existing, and some people aren't even existing. When the topic of MAID came up, I lost 5 friends in the last year to MAID, to track 2. Track 1 is when you're terminal. Track 2 is you're not terminal. Your death is not foreseeable, but you can't see yourself getting out of the poverty hole that you're in. And I don't care what anyone says. No, it's for people that suffer from massive depression and stuff. How the fuck do you think they get there? They're on disability. They can't get out of this hole. They can't get out of debt. They owe 6 months back rent because they don't get enough money for it. So what do? You know what? I can't get out of this. I'm just going to die. And the thing is, if you're on disability and you want to go for track 2, you're done in 3 months. 90 days is all it takes, and your life is ended. Now, I don't know if you've seen the meme going around for MAID, for the disabled, where it's got a housing list, and it's got 2 people, and it's got this massive wait list. It's got health list, because these people are showing that they're ill. Massive wait list. And then at the bottom left, you've got mental health support. Massive list. You can see that these people are really in trouble. The last one is medical assistance in dying. No list. They just go up to write up their name, and out of the right says, how can we help you? Because if you're on disability and you want track 2 MAID, no problem. Because they would rather aid you in death than aid you in life. So this $200 that they said that they are going to give, when we first heard that, okay, because we all were watching, $200, the first thing we all said is, that is not going to lift us out of poverty. That's not even going to make a dent. That's not even a fucking Band-Aid. It's not even a steri-strip. It's salt water on the wound. And then they turn around and say, and we're going to tie this to the disability tax credit. The disability tax credit, out of the 1.6 million in Ontario that are disabled, you want to know how many people have that disability tax credit? 400,000 people. A quarter. So now we're saying, okay, this isn't fair at all, because this is so hard to get. Doctors do not want to fill out the forms for it because it's a fight to get the disability tax credit. And then they turn around and they say, not only the disability tax credit, it's going to be tied to your household income. Because there are some people that have the disability tax credit that are extremely disabled, but they're in very well-to-do families. So they're not even going to be able to get it to help with this person's care. You are not going to be able to get the equipment that you need. I was here when that person was talking about I think it was like the Acorn stair lift or something that the vet needed, and they were told no by the government that they weren't going to pay for it. It won't even help for that. So even if you don't even have a well-to-do family, maybe you'd have like a middle-class family and you're just coasting along, you're not going to get it because it's going to be tied to your income. Middle class is going to be considered too much. So we are not going to vote for Singh. We are not going to vote for Trudeau. He can go fucking pound salt. And we are not going to vote for PP. The ones that I have spoken to, we're voting Green, because they are the only ones that have constantly had our back. We thought we had Benita Zarrillo from the NDP because she was going on she was going on CDB, right? We have to get them out of poverty, you have to get them out of poverty, you have to get them out of poverty. And she fucking votes yay to the budget. She voted yay. And we all sent her messages saying, you betrayed us, Benita. You stabbed us in the back. Next day, in the House, when she's speaking, what's her focus? Corporate greed. Fucking corporate greed. She dumped us that fast, just like fucking Singh. We have absolutely nobody from the 3 big parties on the back of the disabled. Who they seem to forget? Vote. We fucking vote. We are old enough to vote. And they do not have our backs whatsoever. They are practicing eugenics. And you might see that a lot on disability Twitter. So this is killing the disability community. There's so many of my friends that just want to die. Yesterday, I saw 2 people saying, you know what? I think the world would just be a better place without me. I'm thinking I might apply for MAID. And a lot of us said, no, you won't, because we still need you. You're still our friend. I know that it doesn't look very good right now, the outlook. The outlook is very grim. But we do still need you because you're still a voice and you still have a vote. And it just seems like the fucking government doesn't care about our votes. They like to dangle the CDB in front of our face like it's a fucking carrot. And that there's a lot of people that when it was announced, the $200, you should be grateful for anything that you get. And I got into it with someone and I said, bitch, I am not something that you scraped off of your fucking shoe when you came out of the park. I was a fucking nurse. And now we're disabled and now we're nothing. There's a good chance I could have saved the life of your grandparent because I used to work in oncology. But no one wants to know anything about that. They just want to know that we're the low lives, we're the scum. When we're not the scum. We have a heart, we have a brain, we think, we vote. Some of us are just barely holding it together. I have some friends that are planning to do a demonstration in Ottawa. I can't. That is 7 hours away from me. But God knows I do have a mouth because I've been banned off of Twitter twice. I've been banned off Facebook 4 times, but I keep coming back with other accounts. So that's how I'm going to use it. That's how I'm going to get our word out. And that's why I wanted to join this group so I could let you know this is what's going on that nobody knows. Or very few of you know because you're not in disability Twitter, which is totally fine. I mean, like there's areas of Twitter that I'm not involved in because it's got nothing to do with me. But I just wanted you all to know this is what we're all going through. And it sucks and it hurts. And nobody wanted this life. And this is not where I pictured myself when I was 16 years old. I was first told when I was 15 that I'm going to become disabled at some point. All of my disabilities are genetic, including my autism. And I am very blunt. So if I've said something to offend anyone, I'm very sorry. I have no verbal filter whatsoever. I worked from the time I was 16 up until last year. Sometimes for people, as I said, I worked at the hospital, and then other times for myself. When I was 32, when I was 32, my doctor said, no more. You cannot do this anymore because your body is breaking down. I have degenerative joint and spine disease. I have scoliosis and my spine is crumbling. The discs are starting to crumble, which causes immense pain. I have deformed knees. I have deformed hips. Mobility is very hard for me right now. I've got issues with my shoulders right now that they're starting to check out because they think the joints are starting to disintegrate up there as well. And cancer also runs in my family. My father passed away from colon cancer. I already had colon cancer. I had ovarian cancer. And now I have a cyst in my left breast that they're thinking possibly could be cancer. So I have to have a mammogram every year. Yeah, I just wanted to, sorry for rambling. It's hello, autism. I just wanted to let you know that this is what's going on with disability Twitter in Canada and how much we are frowned upon. Like we shouldn't even exist. We shouldn't even be here. And that's how we feel the government looks at us. They want healthy people that can work. They don't want disabled people that cannot work, that are sucking the government's tit for the rest of their life. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing.